Got to get to this clip, really shocking, came out from Project Veritas. A Connecticut public school's assistant principal was caught on camera discriminating against hiring Catholics because he says that if you hire Catholics, then they're not going to indoctrinate the kids well enough and they're not going to churn out Democrat voters in the future.
If you were raised on it's like a language, that changes what it's like.
So if you find out someone is Catholic, then
I think one of the questions that might start including is something about transgender stuff. I don't think kids have enough knowledge to make decisions. But if they're older, I'm not allowed to do that. But I can't tell them I'm not interviewing you because you're older. I just don't interview you. Sometimes the older you get, the more set in your ways, the more conservative you get. It doesn't matter what they think about it. If they think about it in a logical, progressive way, that becomes their habit.
so you kind of like gear them to think in a more liberal way.
Mm-hmm. I believe the hopefully the more progressive teachers are actually more savvy about delivering a democratic message without really ever mentioning politics. We want people that are going to listen to the people. Who listens to the people? It wasn't the conservatives on the Supreme Court. It's little things like that. You hope those little things stick.
And then later down the line, you're going to vote Democrat. And you will have done a great service to our country.
I hope.
That's it. That's what they're going to do. He's saying we don't hire Catholics. If someone is a really well-formed Catholic, they're never going to go with the libs. They can't. They're not going to do it. Too much Thomas Aquinas. They're not. So we can't hire them. We got to discriminate against them. How are we going to do that legally? We'll ask them about transgenderism because they know this is why the libs. One of the reasons the libs focus so much on transgenderism because it just tells you everything. If you believe that men can secretly be women, you're a leftist. If you don't believe that, you're one of the bad people. You might even be a Catholic, but you're one of those bad conservatives. You're out. If you're a little bit older, you might be more conservative. Okay, we're not going to hire you. We don't even need to mention explicit politics. We are going to push this stuff on kids and churn out Democrat voters starting in kindergarten. And in this guy's defense, he's acknowledging one basic truth. There is no neutrality here, especially in education. There's no neutrality. They're either going to be trained in the conservative way or in the leftist way. They're going to be trained in the atheist way or the Christian way, or the Catholic way maybe. That's what he's really worried about. It's going to be some kind of training. That's what education is. And so, it's illegal for him to do what he's doing, to discriminate against Catholics and conservatives in the schools. But he's doing a natural thing. He's saying we want a certain type of education, not another type of education. Maybe conservatives need to start thinking that way too. Right now, head over to PureTalk.com, enter promo code Knowles Podcast. Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, these guys take way too much of your money every month. And the way they justify it is by giving you way more data than you will ever really need. That's really concerning, especially given the state of our current economy. No matter what the libs tell you, we are in a recession. Now it's time to hunker down, save some money wherever you can. One of the easiest ways that you can do that is by looking at your current cell phone bill. Are you paying too much money? What's your current bill? Could be $80, $90. Are you paying for way more data than you need? Then you should talk to my friends over at PureTalk. PureTalk gives you myriad choices so that you can choose the data plan that is right for you, whether that's 2 gigs per month or an unlimited plan with a mobile hotspot. Doesn't matter, whatever you want. By switching to PureTalk, the average family of 4 is saving over $75 per month. Customers are realizing they simply do not need as much data as they thought. Plus, PureTalk makes it easy to find the right plan for you and your family. They're a veteran-owned company with customer service team right here in the United States. Make the switch, okay? It's super easy to do it. Takes 10 minutes. I am a PureTalk customer. I love it. Fabulous 5G wireless network. Right now, this month, when you switch to PureTalk, you pay for 1 month. You get the second month free. I have been endorsing PureTalk for an extremely long time right now. They've never made an offer this big. Go to puretalk.com, choose your plan, enter promo code Knowles Podcast for this special offer. That is puretalk.com, code Knowles Podcast to get your second month free.
Greetings, exalted Nostradamus. Peace be upon you. I have a question for you about acting. I've been acting in theater for about 8 years now, and I've recently secured an agent to pursue acting professionally. However, I have some concerns about the increasingly profane, obscene, and sexual content that you see in TV and movies these days, and that I may be expected to do or say things for the camera or on stage that directly contradict my morals. So I was wondering if there is any gray area regarding what you do as an actor, morally speaking, because since I'm only pretending, is it possible to do or say sinful things while remaining inculpable because my heart is in the right place and my intention is merely to entertain the audience? Basically, my question is Jim Caviezel or Mark Wahlberg? Thank you.
This is such a good question. And I was just discussing this last night with the Clavens, Spencer Klavan and Drew Klavan. And, you know, Spencer and I we probably met for the very first time when we were doing plays and operas and things in college. So, you know, we've been thinking about this question for a long time. And I think it's like the IQ bell curve meme, okay? At the really dumb, stupid, idiot, drooling end of the spectrum, the guy's gonna say, duh, I don't know, actors are kind of liars and they're doing bad stuff and that's bad, right? And then you get into the middle of the IQ bell curve meme and they say, no, actually, when you're acting a role, it's completely divorced from your own person and you have no culpability whatsoever for the things you're thinking and doing. Come on, a play's a play. And then at the highest end of the IQ bell curve meme, I think you go back to the drooling guy and I think you say, no, actually, actors are kind of, you know, there's a reason they weren't allowed in restaurants for a lot of history. There's a reason they were lumped together with criminals and prostitutes for most of history. And there's a reason that the church took a pretty hard line against acting as a profession and the theater broadly for, you know, roughly 14 to 1600 years. Because it is a complicated question. And it's a little bit different. When you are a writer and you write a story about, I don't know, a rape and a murder and terrorism and a serial killer, your mind is wandering in certain places. You are sometimes opening up wounds. You're sometimes indulging kind of disordered thoughts and even desires. And then you put it on paper and that's that. It's an action only of the mind. When you are attending a play or watching a movie, you are allowing yourself to indulge certain desires and things that could be disordered and not great for your soul. But again, it is just in the mind. It's not really in the body. When you are acting, uniquely, when you are acting, you are putting all of this into your body. And so you are really doing it. And because we're incarnate creatures, that affects us. This is especially true after what is colloquially referred to as method acting comes about, which is all comes out of Freud. You have Freud come about. You have the kind of psychological revolution of the 19th century, late 19th century and early 20th century. Then in Russia, you have the Stanislavski system, which is the first kind of method acting, where Stanislavski, the director of the Moscow Art Theater, says, we're no longer going to have representational, stilted acting where you're basically like a glorified mime. No, you're going to develop the inner life of your character, and you're going to live truthfully in imaginary circumstances. Out of that, then in New York, you get the group theater. The group theater is people like Lee Strasberg, Stella Adler, Sanford Meisner, Uta Hagen, all these people. And they're all a bunch of communists, and they're all really into this stuff where your inner life it's all coming from the subconscious. And they all do a lot of weird stuff. Lee Strasberg, one of the great acting teachers in New York, won't name him, but he referred to Lee Strasberg as a pervert and a voyeur. And a lot of it, you know, when people really get into the method or any of this the Meisner technique or the Adler technique, sometimes it really can mess you up. Okay, actors are all completely insane, and it really can warp your soul and your body. So I'm not going to give you the easy answer of, hey, don't worry about it, it's okay. You know, no big deal, a play's a play. No, you have to be very careful about it because it is your mind and it is your soul and it is your body. I'm glad you liked that clip. Now, ring that bell, subscribe. We've hit 1 million subscribers. That's great. I want to hit 1 billion. So head on over right now, ring that bell, get the notifications. We'll see you next time.